Welcome back, everyone. We are live. It's Friday, April 7th, 2017. It's the Late Night on Campus. I'm your host, the big man on campus, here as always with my co-host, Donnie RightSide. Donnie, what's up, man?
Hey, man. Friday night, relaxation, full slate of baseball, some interesting NBA games that went on tonight, which we're going to get into as well. But, this is what we like to call some overtime action. Let's have a good time on the show, big man. We have a lot of topics that we want to go over. I do have some late night on campus baffle the big man questions that we've gathered throughout the day as well. So let's have some fun, man.
Yeah, interesting, weird, crazy day in baseball. I said today, earlier, I wasn't really doing well in baseball. And like always, we see what happens as the day goes on. You look at some of the games, Donnie, we talked about earlier. Boston, Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
Detroit gives up a 4-run lead, goes down 5-4. Detroit battles back and wins that game. Pittsburgh, up 4-0. They give up the lead. Don't cover the run line. The Nationals, up 7-0.
Mm-hmm.
Don't cover the run line against the Phillies. You look at San Diego, they gave up a lead, somehow won. Chicago has just given up the lead to Milwaukee.
Yanks just gave it up while you were just talking right there.
You also have the Toronto Blue Jays. They've taken a lead, but it's bases loaded, no outs in Tampa in the bottom of the sixth. Donnie, I've said this before.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to double down on it. There are 5 bullpens that I want my lead in the hands of. 5, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And even 5. I mean, you look at, let's say we have a list together. Let's create a list right now.
Yep.
Baltimore, obviously. The Yankees, I'm okay with that.
Even tonight, yeah, no. You want to look long-term where you would probably say trust. I agree. It would be the Yankees.
Right. Long-term, I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
Cleveland, I think I'm good with Cleveland.
Yeah. Yep.
Houston, I could agree. Houston.
Maybe a healthy Boston pen?
No.
No,
they get rid of Tazawa. I mean, they got rid of. I mean, Heath Hembry's awful. I mean, and then maybe the Dodgers, maybe. But you look at other than that. I mean, what exactly do you have? What is going on in Major League Baseball? The pitching is awful. It's a horrendous. It's an abomination.
Dude, how about Dusty Baker as well, saying he loves his bullpen? Boy, did they got lit.
Oh, yeah. Joe Blanton and what other hack do you have back there? Sammy Solis. I mean, yeah.
They were running out just bums today. I mean, if the Phillies can touch you up like that, you got problems.
I mean, it was 7-0. You're watching the game. We obviously know that the Phillies have struggled and will struggle. I mean, yeah, it's something that it's hard to come up with how it all is happening. And then you kind of think about it. I mean, you look at tonight. Let's kind of update here. Texas was up 8-0.
Mm-hmm.
And other than a ground ball double play from Marcus Semien in the 4th or 5th inning,
they got a long way to go, too.
That game could have got ugly. And let's be real. Does anyone trust Texas's bullpen? I mean,
no,
really?
No, I mean, that's what you got to live through in April. I mean, it's people settling into roles. They're just coming out of spring training. Again, you're throwing them into some cold weather situations, but, and not getting any help from the starters in most cases. But if you watch that Phillies game, like we both did, Jeff, breaking it down earlier on the right side of campus, you knew Velasquez was going to give up home runs. They happened right away. You knew the wind was blowing out. That happened right away. You knew Max Scherzer was barely going to get touched from the Phillies. That happened. Then they bring in the bullpen 6 through 9 innings, and it's the Wild West.
A turn of events down in Tampa Bay. They take the lead 8-7. Still no one out for the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Another joke of a group, the Toronto Blue Jays pitching staff. I mean, what the hell was Liriano's sick? He sucks. Liriano blows. And then whatever they have in the bullpen is
8-7, 15 runs in the 6th inning. And this is Tampa Bay we're talking about. Going back to the earlier show that we did today, Jeff, with the right side of campus, I know I did give out the Yankees first 5 over 4.5, which, was basically just pegged on Ubaldo's head, and he provided exactly what we wanted. I know, Jeff, you talked about the one that everybody loves, 70 degrees at Coors, wind blowing out 10 miles an hour, those big bad Dodgers coming into town, everybody hits a Coors. You were right on the money. And that under, I believe, Jeff, that closed at 12.5. So people were still pegging the 12.
And that's what's so, like, completely backwards right now with baseball. I mean, you look at, like, that game. I mean, if you were going to see an over tonight, wouldn't you say it would be that game?
Yeah, I mean, just looking at the narrative, I mean, everywhere was cold. You have everything you wanted today at Coors Field. Two good hitting lineups. If you look just at, who's going to be starters, you have a team playing at Coors Field. You have a nice day, 70 degrees. You have wind blowing out double digits.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you have a kid that's making his debut in the major leagues. Yep. I don't even know if he said that, but it's just like
no, yeah, crazy. Exactly. Yeah, barely even made the roster. I mean, had a decent spring. I believe it was like a 3.5 ERA, but they didn't know he was going to play. Just throw him in. Hey, first career start. Good luck at the Dodgers. And by the way, I bet you he's never thrown a pitch at Coors Field either. So there you go.
And by the way, again, the Dodgers are just lost against lefties. I mean, it's really amazing, honestly. And look at anymore, and that's why I think if you spend a lot of time on this baseball thing we're doing here, I don't really see it getting any different. I mean, I don't know how you're not going to get a bullpen and just turn itself around. There's a reason they're in the bullpen. I mean, when you're coming up in baseball, your goal is not to be in the bullpen. I mean, you kind of get thrown in there. If you get demoted to the bullpen, it's not usually a good thing, right?
Yeah, no, I'm a big fan. That's why, sometimes you take a little bit more credence in first five where, you don't have to deal with the bullpens. You don't have to deal with the meltdowns. You know who your pitcher is. And again, in most instances, let's just say if Matt Scherzer, Jeff, got lit for 5 runs over the first 4 innings, it's probably a good chance you're not going to win that game anyway. So, right. And I remember you even mentioned and saying, talking about run line in the Washington game, we are more a little bit keyed in on the over, but I know you also mentioned out there, Washington first 5 -0.5, right on target,
Yeah, I mean, that's, again, kind of how at this point you have to look at things. I mean, think if you had San Diego today, the Padres. I mean, they're up, easily, top of the 6th at all. The wheels come
Grand Slam. Bam, right out of nowhere.
Yeah. I mean, think if you had, let's say Texas first 5. I mean, you're sitting pretty here. Yeah. But honestly, I mean, it's kind of like college football. I mean, unders aren't fun. An under is never really fun. But I mean, I got to be honest. If you're still betting unders, I mean, there's select games. Like I know in my podcast that I mentioned, I kind of liked the Cubs Milwaukee under. I just thought that line was a little too high. Jimmy Nelson had been pretty decent last year, and the Cubs kind of started off slow. But I mean, if I told you that like Cincinnati was involved in an under, and and Milwaukee was involved in under, would you believe me? I mean,
no. And even if you take a look at the first games, even the way they ended up. The Phillies, I mean, obviously the Phillies scored late, but if you looked at the Detroit-Boston game, I mean, that took some late inning magic against the bullpen as well, because that game was 1-0 for a long time. Same thing with Pittsburgh. I mean, if McCutchen, I don't know, put it this way, and this is already getting on my nerves in baseball. I mean, it's not below 40 degrees. I mean, guys are out there literally with like triple ski mask, Jeff, where it's like this.
Yeah,
I'm going to try to play the outfield. Like McCutchen ran right by a ball, which ended up being a double, which if you had the under in that game, completely killed your whole thing.
I saw Bryce Harper with it on too.
Bryce Harper had it on. Starlin Castro, who seems to can't field a ball at second base, maybe should take off the upper and bottom lip mask out there. I mean, come on.
They were crushing him on the telecast about that because I hate Tom McCarthy, and where I live here, they have you're
the same as me, man.
We have Masson. I don't know if you know what Masson is. It's
Maryland, like Baltimore Orioles,
Maryland, Washington, and they give you the Orioles and the Nationals. So I don't really like FP Santangelo either, but he's better than McCarthy and those other dope. So, and he was crushing Bryce Harper. He's like, dude, it's not even that cold. Like, what
I mean, it was chilly out, but I mean, come on, what are we doing here? I don't. This is just, I hope it's a style that just completely goes away because I can get even if you wanted to wear the ear flaps that come over the a big thing a couple years ago, but now taking it to the ski mask where I just see your eyes, I don't get it, man.
But it's not like it's 20 degrees. I mean, they're so weak. These guys, they're so like What are you
I
doing?
can't wait, Jeff. I can't wait to see the first pitcher that comes out with that on.
Oh, sure. I'm ready for football. I'm sick of
Is that
baseball.
on the chat box, or is that you saying that?
Nah, I'm just saying that. But no, but yeah, seriously. I mean, I mentioned on my podcast, I think a play we kind of missed out on, Donnie, and I ended up kind of throwing it out on my own show. San Diego and San Francisco over. I mean, Matt Cain, I mean, do you ever depend on that guy? And Perdomo had been brutal last year.
No, we talked about that too on the right side of campus. Just, I mean, you're going to keep running. It was like last year was always fun for me with San Francisco. If you were just going to keep on giving me PB and Kane, I'm just fading the hell out of the Giants. And you're still going to give me Kane, so why not just fade them out?
Plus, I mean, I guess if the Padres are going to score, it would probably be against Matt Cain in that bullpen. So
exactly.
But yeah, I mean, I don't really know where to begin. Some other games we didn't discuss. Kansas City. How about that? I told you, Michael Fires. I'm not interested whatsoever in laying 160 with him, especially that team right now. I mean, they're not hitting.
I believe it even opened up close into the high 180s in that game too with Fires. Like he's a Cy Young Award winner also.
Oh yeah, and I got to tell you, I mentioned today. I want to shout out to the Cincinnati Reds.
I'm glad you go ahead, man, because I just looked at that score. Go ahead.
Finally, maybe they have a pitcher that they can be excited about there. Amir Garrett, who, he pitches really well tonight. I mean, 6 innings, only gives up 2 hits, doesn't give up an earned run, only walks 2. Really impressive from him. I mean, nice job. And St. Louis, I mean, it seems like, and I know as the year goes on, we'll continue to kind of sound like broken records, but in my experience, I just cannot bet the San Diego or St. Louis Cardinals under any circumstance. I mean, because a lot of the time they're priced so high, and I don't want to
Their lineup's not built for runs. I mean, if you look at their lineup, it's more of like a.
I mean, seriously, their lineup sucks. They don't have anybody I'm excited about, really. I mean, who in that lineup are you excited about?
No, it's funny because if you go up and down, it's almost like, Jeff, honestly, 1 through 8, you could put any one of those guys in like your 3 and 4 spot. They're all the same hitter, it looks like. Where's the power at? Like, at least you would have like a Matt Holliday in there that you can just stomp in your 4th hole and say, give me some power. Okay, Stephen Piscotty and then Matt Carpenter. Matt Carpenter's a good hitter, but not a power guy.
Holliday's gone now. He's with the Yankees.
That's what I mean. Yeah, you used to be able to put him in there is what I was saying. But now it's just there's nobody there.
Yeah. Perdomo pitched well until the Grand Slam.
Oh, yeah, we all do.
Yeah, I mean, if I had a 5th of vodka, I'd be drunk. I mean, come on, dude. You look at him last year, he gave up, and we mentioned Velasquez, 1.44 home runs per 9. Perdomo was at 1.4 run, and then an ERA just south of 6. So a little bit of an update here. Tampa Bay continues to score runs. It's 9-7.
That's amazing.
The Toronto Blue Jays need a ground ball like I need a blowjob right now. I mean, it's bad. Texas, they get another run. They add to that. It's 9-4. We missed a couple. Minnesota, Chicago White Sox game not many people seem to care about.
Phil Hughes, how about that, huh?
Yeah, that's a low-scoring affair there. Nice outing from Mr. Hughes.
Yeah.
2-1 in Comerica. I guess it's still called Comerica, right? Maybe not.
No, it's Guaranteed Rate Field now, right?
You're kidding.
Fantastic. Yeah, it has the arrow down. They're killing them on Twitter early in the season yet.
Oh, really?
That's it.
I also noticed that Hawk Harrelson doesn't do games for them anymore.
No, I don't know who their guys
what
are
happened
now.
There?
Honestly,
he was honestly one of the best. I want to tell everyone I'm missing the fucking Nike Hoop Summit because of this show tonight. I want to tell everyone that.
Is it on TV?
Yes, it's on TV.
Did you tape it?
Yeah, I got it on right now. I guess I'll watch the second half. And then you got Cleveland. They're up early. Cleveland just seems to always be winning, and no matter what game it is. And Andrew Miller, or not Andrew Miller, Shelby Miller, with a tough start. But I guess I was wrong with that. Seattle, Los Angeles, nothing in the first.
And by the way, Jeff, get back. Like Dylan says, Hawk is an abomination. I like quirky. I like a little bit of quirkiness in baseball season. But I'll tell you the one thing which I haven't figured out, and this just being local. I know everybody has their favorites in baseball and your local guys, which most of the time you can actually put up with. But we have, as Jeff said, Tom McCarthy in Philadelphia. One of the worst play-by-play guys you can have, unoriginal, boring, forced laugh, makes mistakes. The one thing I still can't figure out, like you had Harry Callis. my favorite announcer, all four sports
How
of
do you go from
Philadelphia.
him to him?
Why wouldn't you go down and just say to his son, who would have came up with Tampa? I think he's with Houston now. Hey, come at you. Nobody. How would you hate on his son, even if he wasn't that good to start? Even though he is a very good announcer, I've heard him multiple times. He would fit right in and just be beloved. And he's young for what, Jeff? 40 years? Come on.
No, I know. I don't really get that either. I mean, I don't know why you don't throw the price. I mean, and again, like, how many color guys have they gone through over the years?
It's a mixed match. Like, I like when Schmitty comes on the weekend for the broadcast, but they had Matt Stairs. He was boring. Now he's the Phillies don't fire anybody; they just reassign. So yeah, you're the color guy. Yeah, get down in there, coach. Be the hitting coach. That's just what the Phillies do.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I think Hawk Harrelson's hilarious. I mean, he said.
And what else are you going to do with Chicago White Sox baseball? They get like 1,000 people at their home games. Somebody has to at least, say something in there.
I think he's hilarious. I think he's one of the best. I've always enjoyed him. I always search out his stuff on the internet. But you know what Harry Kalas' one kid does, right, Don?
I know the guy sung today the national anthem.
His one, it's that guy. It's that.
Yeah.
I think
What's he do?
the other.
What is he?
He's a big time poker player. I don't know if you knew that.
No, I did not.
Got some big scores. Yeah, he's not bad. But yeah, an interesting night in the major leagues, nonetheless. And there it is. Toronto
double
gets
digit
out of
alert.
it.
We got a double digit alert with Texas, Jeff. 10 spot.
Texas up 10-4. Toronto got out of it. We got top of 7, 9-7 there. So I think if we can root a team in, we probably would agree Toronto can come back from that. But a pinball back and forth. One game we didn't talk much about, Donnie, is Baltimore at New York. New York had the lead. The Yankees had the lead for most of the game. A big 3-run shot from the man, the myth, the legend, Manny Machado.
Yeah.
And I said earlier, I kind of liked Baltimore. And again, the game's not over. But the Yankees, I know you had a play on the over in the first 5, which I think we could agree. 5th inning, you did like that inning with a 5 spot in that inning.
Yeah, that was nice. They should have had a lot more. It was 1-1 at the end of 1, but honestly, it's one of those games, Jeff. We've all bet these before, where you leave them on the board. They should have had 4 runs at least in that first inning. They get 2, then it sort of slows down a little bit. And thank God that Ubaldo was just serving up tomato shot cans out there, because I was really looking at it going, you know what? This game's going to end up being one of those ones where you really regret not getting those runs a little bit earlier. But it all worked out for me, so it was nice.
Yeah, both those guys. I mean, Severino actually pitched decent until he gave up that 3-run homer, which, I guess we could say so close, so short. NBA tonight, Donnie.
Yeah.
I know you mentioned to me, the NBA obviously winding down. You don't wager much in the NBA. Look at tonight. I just want to talk about some of the moves here. I got to tell you, and I know one of our listeners on the Big Men on Campus, I think it was Bob, a listener Bob. He mentioned he liked Toronto. A bad beat if you had Toronto. They were up double digits for most of that game. I saw on Twitter they only won by 2, laying 4.5. A poor beat if you had Toronto. And that one, they just fell short in covering that number. Tough beat. The game I was involved in, but I tried, again, probably should have had my head examined. I should have knew better. Donnie, you look at this game, Cleveland opened 10.
Goodness.
Listen, they opened 10. It's bet all the way up to 15.5. Again, system would say take the Hawks, right?
I mean, but this was like an extenuating circumstance in that, though. I mean,
that's what I pointed out. But then 5 minutes before the game, Tim Hardaway and Dennis Schroeder are all of a sudden okay to play in the game.
So they played. How about I know Dwight
Millsap.
Howard sat out too, so they actually came in and played at that. Did any buyback on that, or was that just a runaway?
No.
You know what I mean?
No, it was all Cavs money the whole way. It was all Cavs money. Nothing came back. And you look at tonight. I mean, this was the starting 5 tonight for the Atlanta Hawks. Chris Humphries, which I can't believe after the Kardashian drama, I can't believe he's still in the league. Ersan Ilyasova, Taurean Prince, Jose Calderon, and Tim Hardaway Jr.
Man.
These are the names that played tonight also for the Atlanta Hawks. Think about this.
And the Cavs were full go, weren't they?
Yeah, everyone.
Jesus.
Ryan Kelly, Mike Muscala, DeAndre Bembry, shout out to St. Joe's.
Yeah, there you go.
Malcolm Delaney, Michael Dunleavy. I mean,
how did they now? First of all, the game 15 like money line on that had to be outrageous. And who would like how many parlays probably went down in that game? Which again, why you're taking a parlay with a team that's
the
what's
Hawks
your advantage anyway? 10 to 15 points. What are you actually getting back on your money?
The Hawks were plus 1175 in that game.
Jesus.
It closed. It could have been more at other books, but yeah, just brutal. I took them first half the Cavs. I thought the same way you did. I thought, again, the system says take it, but it's like they literally have no one playing. I mean, the guys out, Donnie, literally were 66% of their points, and they win by 14.
And they don't. I don't even think they had. Who had something to play for in that one though? Did either one of them? I mean, I know there's a couple of games left. You still want to win and jockey, but I think Atlanta was basically sitting because they don't even really care or need the game at all, right?
Atlanta can't really move up. I mean, because they're in sixth right now. If they move up, or no, I think they're in fifth. They move up there, so it really wouldn't matter either way. Brutal. Detroit, they're leading. Houston, how about that?
On the road,
I mean, another huge dog. Plus 10.5. That one is they're up 3 with 11 seconds left, so they're coming in for a landing there. Knicks get crushed. However, again, wherever you got it, it depends. I mentioned I thought at the time 13 I thought was a little – I didn't want to lay 13 with the Grizzlies, but they end up pushing and hitting 13. If you had 12.5, you were a winner. The under came in, which wasn't really close.
You got another shit show late that's starting in a couple minutes.
Yeah.
Sacramento Kings and the Lakers, and no Boogie in that game, right?
Yeah. Well, Boogie plays for the Pelicans, Donnie.
Oh, that's how much I'm up on the NBA.
No, right? But he actually didn't play tonight for the Pelicans.
I saw that up there. I just had the wrong.
How about Phoenix up 20-8 early against the Thunder as 9-point dogs? One I did want to make you aware of, Donnie. The Timberwolves and the Jazz. I sent out 2 plays on this game, one of which was on the Timberwolves plus 11. They're up 60-55 at the break. We're also sitting on the over 197.5 in that game. Both I gave out to the listeners of the show tonight. You look at the move there, Donnie, a 7-point move on the under in that game. You know what we did? We took the over. Again, a lot of time left, but we'll see how it goes. Does Stan Van Gundy look like Ron Jeremy? Yes, he does. That's a great point by you, Dan Kelly. He also looks like, Donnie, if you've ever seen old pizza boxes, he looks like the animated
the pizza guy. Yep, the old school guy. Yes, you're right. Yep.
But I do want to give the credit where it's deserved. Dan Lebitard. Dan Lebitard came up with that, which is that not
the guy in the pizza box?
Yeah. He has like a hat on and like whiskers and everything.
Yeah, exactly. Holding up the pizza box, twisting.
Yeah, he's like he's like flipping a pizza. He's like the quintessential Italian pizza maker.
Yes, exactly.
Which I got to say is one of the funnier ones I've seen as far as that's concerned. But Ron Jeremy is a good one also. Suns will lose the second half. Wow, you're really going out on a limb there. You lose a lot of second half.
Who's getting value live right there with the Oklahoma City Thunder? Anybody taking that live value?
Well, they're down 10. I mean, What's the money line in that game?
I don't even know. Let me see what it has up there. So Thunder -2.5, -3 right now. You can get. What the line close at, big man?
The line in what game?
The Oklahoma City game.
9. OKC.
Yeah. Okay. So you get a little bit of a discount there.
And I saved the best for last just because I find this just so funny. The San Antonio Spurs tonight, Donnie. Listen to the DNPs in this game. Aldridge, Leonard, Gasol, Parker, Ginobili. They have a 13-point lead currently on the Dallas
System basketball, right, big man?
I mean, listen to this starting five, for Christ's sakes. D. Burtons, whoever that is, Dwayne Dedman, Patty Mills, John Simmons, and Kyle Anderson. Bryn Forbes out of Michigan State, 27 tonight for the Spurs.
It's just system. Wow. Pop is just ridiculous, man. Slide him in, slide him out.
But it's like, if you're the Mavericks, I mean, what on earth are you doing?
Well, Cuban's probably going to try to go max out another bum type player. You know,
the under in that game, Donnie, was really low. Is that like, I think it closed 189.
Yeah,
They're not going to get anywhere near that number.
Yep.
I don't think. We'll see. Let's get into some other things here. We'll keep abreast of those situations. Let's just quickly look at baseball here. Cincinnati up 2-0 still. The Angels are threatening in the bottom of the first. And then we have the same outcome.
Cincinnati getting that 2-run lead. How about that Cincinnati team? Trash team going into St. Louis, right? My goodness.
Yeah, I mean, that St. Louis team we talked about. How about one team we didn't mention tonight? A very nice performance, and I want to give him some credit because he is what he is, but he's always been a really good major league pitcher, a guy that you can depend on normally. Wei-Yin Chen and the Marlins, he pitched really well tonight. Zach Wheeler, as expected, looked awful. I don't know how you bet Zach
hasn't
Wheeler
pitched. Yeah, hasn't pitched. I mean, I get spring training and all that, but hasn't pitched in a real game. You want to at least give him a run through, 2 run-throughs to see what he's got. But
didn't that line kind of tell you it all? I mean, the Marlins were favorites on the road against Zach Wheeler.
Yep.
I mean, didn't that kind of tell you something there?
7-2 Rockets. You have another over hits there. I mean, it's just I
got to tell you, if you bet dogs today, you made some money in baseball. Yeah. I mean, you look at if you took the Rockies, they came in. Padres, they came in. Even in NBA, we mentioned that. Donnie, let's switch gears here. Talk about some other things. Quickly, one other thing on the NBA, the Boston Celtics. How about them? They get tied with Cleveland, then get ran off the court on national TV. Then last night, get run off the court by an Atlanta team that hadn't scored seemingly forever. I mean, what the hell's up with them? Do they not want to get that first seed or something?
It's almost like people are more worried about rest. But then again, the Celtics, if you're going to have a big regular season game, wouldn't that be the one where you circle the wagons at home and say, we finally got you here, and then you just don't show up? And then just to compound it and say, all right, well, now we're a game back or whatever, we're back. Let's go out and, take down Atlanta, who, from my understanding, isn't playing very well at all lately. And then you go get beat by them also. Just, hey.
Right. By the way, a news bulletin right now, a very important thing in major leagues. We can expect the Twins to give up the lead. Our buddy Tyler Duffy is in the game, and that's only bad things that are going to happen for
relegated to the bullpen. How about that?
How about this matchup? Tyler Duffy against Cody Ashe currently.
And is that one of Ashe's still hitting out of the? Is he still hitting out of the 4 position for them also? Or no, he's the DH, right? Is he DHing again tonight?
Who, Ashe?
Yeah, I got to check that out. See if he's actually DH'd.
I think he is. Hang on one second here. Yeah, we got to find that out because how is that? Is
he's the DH. Yep. Hasn't had a base hit yet this year, but he's their DH.
Oh, man. That's funny. But, yeah, I mean.
There's some bad baseball out there. Goodness gracious.
Oh, there really is. Fade the Spread on Twitter is chiming in. You guys are the encyclopedias of this shit. Thank you, man. We try hard. We try to be good. Donnie, who would you rather fade? And this is a question that I'll ask you with the Minnesota Twins. Who would you rather fade? Like if you could pick the ultimate fade pitcher on the Twins, who are you taking? Michael Pelfrey or Tyler Duffy?
That's a tough one because Pelfrey doesn't bring any power pitching, doesn't bring any movement to his baseball.
Right.
But again, I mean, Duffy's one of those, it's kind of funny because I bet Duffy quite a bit or betting on games with Duffy. He's that one guy who can cruise for like 2 1/3, 3 1/3 innings, look unhittable, and get crushed.
He's absolutely horrendous, dude. He's literally, I'll tell you another gas can on the Twins. I don't know if you know who Trevor May is. He's another.
Yeah, another guy. He's one of those young arms, which they were all counting on. Those were supposed to be the future of the Twins.
How about the kid tonight for Oakland? He got walloped, dude. That Alcantara guy, he got crushed.
I mean, he had terrible numbers coming into that one, and we talked about it as well, saying, hey, Oakland, that sneaky team at home, late night, but we don't recommend them on the road. Boom. Take that shot.
Well, I mentioned, I think they're a team that, at home, they're sneaky.
Yes, that's what we said. Yeah.
On the road, I have no interest in the Oakland Athletics, and we'll see. Gibson is not horrible. He's not good either. The Yanks choked that one away. Yeah.
So that's going to be tough to get away. It is over. Yeah, so Zach Britton closed it out. Yeah, good luck, trying to grind out a couple runs on Zach Britton. So
It's a final in Houston. Detroit gets the win against Houston. Another brutal game if you had the NBA. I do see a lot of people tweeting, waiting to the playoffs and all that sort of thing. And you would be right. Oh, and look at that. Tyler Duffy gives up a hit right away. What a surprise.
Bing bong. Yeah, let's put that game on. Let's go.
Let's get into some other things, Donnie. LeVar Ball back in the news. I think his most disgusting.
His dumbest comment.
Now, here's the thing with LeVar Ball. Okay, you could say I don't like him. I don't think any of us really like him. He's kind of annoying. But he was harmless for a while. Like, it was kind of just like, okay, whatever, dude, go away. Like, I'm better than Michael Jordan. Okay, dude, go away. My son's going to the league. Okay, cool, go away. But then he makes these comments about, the white players at UCLA. And it got me thinking, because we all agree, and I don't care if you're black, white, yellow, or blue, we can all agree that the race stuff has gotten out of control in this country, both ways. You would agree with that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let me ask you a question. If Zach Collins' father came out and said, we would have won without all those black kids. If they weren't in the game, we would have won. They're so stupid, we would have won.
Yeah.
What? I mean, Al fucking Sharpton would be out, and Jesse, all of them. It'd be a nationwide Black Lives Matter protest. I mean, all I'm saying is, like, why isn't this being made bigger? I mean, why isn't this guy being called out? Because
it's a PC world in that way where, when you just laugh it off one way, it's very hypocritical. I mean, it's, again, and I grew up, playing football in locker rooms. And I know, Jeff, you grew up in the city. Not much. I mean, you could talk about my mom, my race, whatever you wanted. It never got under my skin because that's the way I was brought up. Like, we busted balls from the first grade on. But sometimes in this like PC world, like people get into, which again, what Ball said to me, it just runs right off my, like, I don't even care. I know he's a loon. And it doesn't affect me one way. It actually makes me laugh in one way. But I know there's a lot of people out there that go, back and forth with the divisiveness, and you can't say this, you can't say that. But you're right. If the role was reversed on the other foot, and the same thing, Jeff, only a couple weeks ago, the Golden State locker room with Andre Iguodala calling basically, Steve Kerr slave master. Can you imagine if that was returned back and said, boy, you know what? And this is Steve Kerr at a press conference, we didn't play well tonight. It's time, to get back on the plantation and start whipping some tail out here. How would that have played out? He would have been banished from the NBA and gone.
Right. Or, hey, if you guys don't play, well, I'm hanging you guys out to dry.
Exactly. Yes. And then, I was just being facetious on that or something like that. No, it doesn't. Right. It doesn't go that way. Just, and
who would be
those weird things.
And who would be at the top of the list going at him? Andre Iguodala.
Yes, correct.
It's again just. And it's a shame because when you look at Alonzo Ball, you look at the kids that are actually doing the work.
Yes,
it makes you want to hate these kids. It makes you want them to fail.
Yes, and there's no reason for it. I mean, just look like you're looking at, like, I know you want to be a father, you want to tell everybody your son's great, but there comes a point where, like, you just now are doing damage. Where if some team was like, you know what, we were going to make it. It was so close, like literally a coin flip. Markelle Fultz or Ball, who do we want? Where that owner's going, saying, well, we haven't heard much out of Markelle Fultz. Seems like a good kid. Take him. Because damn well Big Daddy Lonzo Ball is going to come to town. He's going to want his own, like, radio show in your town. He's going to want to sit behind the coach. He's going to want access to your practices, and he's going to want to talk to the GM daily. Do you want that?
Could you imagine him in Philadelphia? I mean, you remember when Ann Iverson, she was kind of a pain in the ass, like Tawana and all of Iverson.
He was always there, row one with the sign. That's my boy.
That's my boy. Yeah, and she always sat right behind the hoop. Like, and Tawana was a pain in the ass with, him and her always fighting, and it just, and all his posse, and but it was like, for us, it was kind of just like, it was part of the thing. It was, she didn't really get too deep into things. So it was like, whatever, Allen will be Allen, and as long as he plays good, we're good with it. But could you imagine him in Philadelphia? I mean, my God. Yeah. I mean, what a shit show that would be.
Terrell says on the message box there, he disagrees with me. He said Ball was hands off with Alford. Ball is all talk, no action. Have you ever seen him at the high school games? where he literally yells from the stands for the team to press, and the coach has to literally scream over him to not press. Dude's a lunatic.
Yeah, and as far as I don't think Lonzo Ball's completely innocent and all this. I mean, he says the same stupid shit that you don't call another player out and say you're better than him. I mean, that's just not. It's stupid. I mean, and again, why doesn't LeVar admit to the fact that Lonzo just wasn't good enough? I mean, you could say that against Kentucky, Alford didn't leave for the reason they were in that game.
Yeah, he didn't play that well in that game, but I like the way that he actually goes about his business, Lonzo Ball being. Like, there's not a ton of showboat in the game. You don't see him, like, talking trash or, hyping this or hyping that up. He just lets his play do the talking. He honestly, when you look at him and when he gives interviews, he's a laid-back dude, which is completely the opposite of his dad.
Yeah, and I feel like, do you think in a way, like, it's kind of helping, like, a Dennis Smith Jr. out and saying, you know what, Fultz, I mean, I guess he's kind of the, odd man out, but it's like Ball, it's like, do you think that's at some point affecting his draft stock?
But see, I don't really – it depends, because let's just say if one team said, boy, he really came on and he's forget about the number 2 or 3 pick. He's going to go in one of those, and if it's L.A. gets the 3rd pick, he's probably going to go to L.A. anywhere because that's basically where he's slotted. But if he moved his stock up or he has like a nice NBA pre-draft combine and gets in there and does well, if it all comes down to a coin flip, it goes to the owner, and the owner is basically going to say, I don't want to put up with that. I have one guy who's going to come in here and not cause a stir, and I have one guy who maybe for a decade is going to try to tell us how to run our team. You know where it's going.
I wonder, like, if I'm sure the NBA is a lot more pull over saying, get the fuck out of here. I mean, like, you can't do that. I mean, in the NBA, it's got to be different, no?
Yeah.
I mean,
we saw firsthand. I mean, you growing up, Eric Lindros's dad and mom were calling Bobby Clark every single day. It's almost the reason he was traded out of Philadelphia, because the team can only take so much going, who's calling the shots here, the player or me? And that's why it got ugly. Eric Lindros, why don't you play like the best player in the league if you want to get paid like it? Sit out for a year. I don't care. We'll let you waste over there, because dad is calling every day. I don't like Eric on this line. I want Eric to play more. I want Eric on the point at the power play. Let the guy go. Come on.
Yeah, I remember that. It got pretty brutal. But yeah, he's just, you kind of wonder, like, why isn't this getting bigger? Because I feel like since the tournament ended, we haven't heard from him. I mean, he's went away, but this kind of stuff, you kind of wonder, it's like, how is this not a bigger story?
It's just dumb talk too. It doesn't even make any sense. Like, why would you, what is the point of him even mentioning that? Why can't, like, if you said, like, hey, Lonzo didn't play with players that were good enough to play. Like, why would you even attach anything to it? Because the people who we talk about, you're right, Jeff, they weren't bums. Those guys weren't bums. You're talking about one of the best 3-point shooters in the history of college basketball.
It's such a
got on a ton of assists.
Yeah, it's such a crumb move by him. Like, I mean, what are you trying to say there then? Like, when you say those white guys weren't fast, what were you trying to say? Like, I don't understand.
His wife is white and his son's half white. So what are we saying? I get it.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Update here. Looks like the Baltimore Orioles close out the Yankees, which I know I'm decently happy about. I kind of like them there. I'll tell you what, Donnie, you do not bet against Baltimore in Camden Yards. You are asking.
No, good team, man. It's a good team. They can, come back, win everything. Tough game for them. That's a pretty good team, though.
102-63 in Camden Yards over the last 3 years. Pretty good.
Watch this Blue Jays game come in for a landing here too.
What do we have going on there?
9-8, top 8.
Oh shit! What do we have?
We back up.
Solo shot? Do we have Josh?
I just saw pop up there.
Let me ask you a question. What would be the live price that I would have to give you right now to take? Like, what would you give me on Toronto right now?
Yeah, making up a line.
Plus 130, maybe.
Yeah, no, it'd probably be more than that in baseball in the 8th inning. You're probably getting a nice 150 on that, I would imagine.
Against Tampa?
Yeah, home team with the lead.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm asking you, what would you give me?
Yeah, it'd probably be 150.
All right.
Who's going to come in? Column A? Oh, we might have another roof ball here. Let's see. No, didn't hit the roof. How about that, man? I'm watching the Yankees game the other night, and it was one of the public fades I had, which actually ended up staying under. But 2 runs were cost because a simple can of corn pop fly hit the railing and dropped in for a base hit. This is Major League professional baseball. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing in
Yeah,
Tampa Bay? I can't even understand what's going on.
yeah, no, there's a lot of weird shit going on in the major leagues. Quickly, Donnie, we would be remiss if we didn't mention it. And I know
Mm-hmm.
we're not going to get too deep in it just because we don't want to be those guys talking about it, but we have to mention it.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's some major things going on in the world right now
Mm-hmm.
with Syria.
Mm-hmm.
I have to ask you, it's pretty obvious that Vladimir Putin and the Russians were involved in this in some way. No?
Yeah, I mean, my political take on this is fairly simple. I don't think we should be in any war in the Middle East. They've been warring, Jeff. I mean, you're a historian in the Middle East, and you know that culture very well. They've been warring for thousands of years on each other. We're not going to step in and send a couple thousand troops
But
in there and like shake hands with each other.
here's the problem, though, and this is what since the beginning of time we in this country have always done. We come to the aid of the free world because we are the most powerful.
No, but
And
you're right, which gets me to before you like I'm gonna just say this and then you can go right back to the point, the same
sure.
thing. I don't think we should be in war, but there comes a point when you can have war factions, you can have uprisings, you have governments overthrowing it. But the source in power should never be allowed to use sarin gas on their own
No,
people with
and
collateral damage. And that has to stop.
but the
You
question
have a big argument on that one.
But the question you have is, first of all, if you do go in and get him out of power, which I think he's committed war crimes. I think we can that could be proven for sure. I mean, this has been going on for 6 years. He's killed
Yep.
thousands of people. The question
Mm-hmm.
I have is, first of all, and this is what people don't really understand, and this is what's happened in all of those countries. What are you going to do next? Because if you do oust him and you put someone else in, then the Sunnis are going to be happy, but the Shias and the
Yeah,
other
you
Muslims are
can't.
going to
We
be
can't
pissed.
win because
So
when you
yeah,
knock them out, it's going to create a vacuum. And when you create a vacuum, most of the time, look at Libya. Like when you knock out the dictator, you can prop up somebody in there, and they're just going to come after it, and they're going to come from all different ways. It's almost like it has to be a natural selection there. I don't. I think yeah, you're right. You take them out, and what do you just back out and just say, "Hey, there's no power. It's just a vacuum." You know what happens in that situation.
and
The
now
ISIS, the strongholds, the underlings, they're going to get in there.
and now with ISIS, you have the problem of we're almost in a way saying, you know what, we're going to fight because ISIS hates Assad just like we do.
Yes.
So it's almost like saying, well, now we're kind of helping them out a little bit. So
Yeah.
it's a really tough thing to do.
There's so many factions in Syria fighting like against each other. The dichotomy is amazing there because it's not just like rebels versus the government. I mean, there's factions in there from different countries, different sects. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, and the issue also you have now is now you're kind of getting into a slippery slope with Russia because they're big allies of Assad. We all know that, and it's a tough situation. At the end of the day, we've all seen the pictures. We've all seen what's going on in Syria for a number of years. We all have to remember. Here's the problem with Trump and what he's doing here. So we can bomb them. We can try to help them, which I find admirable. I hope that he does. Yet they can't come to this country. That's my issue in saying, listen, I don't think if you ask a Syrian and say to them, listen, if we could clear this country out and you could live in this country and be on your own, I'm sure all of them would say, we want to just have our own country. We don't want to be over in America. We want to just live happily where we are. And I think from that standpoint, we as a country, that's just what we do. I know in my own country, Donnie, in Kosovo, Bill Clinton's a hero in my country due to the fact of him saying, you know what, we're going to intervene here. Might not be the right thing to do, but we're going to help these people because they're getting killed. And it's like what we've done for a long time. So, Assad is a scumbag. He's a subhuman. And it's a shame. I don't know if you follow anything about him.
Yes, I've watched I've followed it in the past like 2 months since it's becoming more mainstream, just really catching up. HBO's done a lot of really good stuff on it as well.
He's not like a typical tyrant, you would think. I mean, he's not like he doesn't have like a big, he's not out in the middle of a desert shooting people with an AK. Like he's he's very well educated. He's very, very upper class. It's just interesting. I wonder what and how someone gets that way and hates his own people. But It's a shame. The world's not getting any better, and we just again, it's kind of why we have stuff like sports betting to get our minds off of it. But
Yep.
we'll see what happens either way. Donnie,
That
I
was your
was
trip around the world out there for you people. Not only getting sports gambling advice, you're going to get some
right.
political takes and some world
Believe me,
action.
I would definitely jump into it a lot deeper, but I know I don't want to. This is a sports show. I definitely like to keep up with it though.
Yeah.
By the way, though, Donnie, I was looking today, and
Yes.
I keep seeing stuff about this Golden Knights team in Las Vegas, this hockey team.
Okay.
And I'm thinking to myself, is that not one of the dumbest, most horrible names you could ever come up with?
They could have made them
name.
so much cooler. So, I mean, they had like a team in Vegas. Like, you literally should have just put it up for vote and just be like, come up with some names. And they could have came up with something just completely badass for a Vegas team. And they just come up with that.
Like, even like the Aces, like, or something. Like the Golden Knights. That sounds like you ever watch like a sports movie, like a corny sports movie?
Yes, yeah, some with
That's
Martin Lawrence in it or something like that as his team name.
Like Mike. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen that movie.
Yes, of course. Yeah, Bow Wow.
Yeah, I think the basketball team in that was called the Knights. But it's just
why could it could have been a the deserts out there.
Yeah,
you could use any one of those optics out there that you have, and just went just so like shallow and just were the Vegas Golden Knights.
Yeah. So I was thinking, I was like trying to come up with some of the worst names for teams, and not just like the worst names, but like what do they mean and why do they mean what they mean, or what are they?
Yeah, I got a couple written down that I have as well. Which again, they're not like like this is stupid, but just names that I say like, why would you name your team this, and why did you do this?
What's an Oiler?
I guess an Oiler would just Texas oil guy. The same thing up there in Canada.
So Edmonton has
country. Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah.
What's a Philly?
Yeah, I was growing up. We used to always just think it was like the cigar.
What's a Flyer?
I'm gonna say the Philly was a horse. It's the only thing it can be, right?
What's a Flyer?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just a friggin' plane. We do have some good ones in Philly, man.
But then you have like the Eagles, which is kind of cool,
Yeah, no, you have normal ones, and you have the Philadelphia Flyers, like it's P and an F. The Phillies, Philadelphia P, and like Phillies with a P. It's just I don't know.
Lakers is a horrible name, but if you look it up, you kind of understand.
Yeah, same thing with the Utah Jazz. And what the hell do
Jazz and Utah have to do?
What religion is that out there? It's the Mormons. Yeah, Mormons. They're big on jazz. Come on.
Right. I have some that I actually like too, but then
go ahead. I got a couple. Yep.
Yeah, the ones I actually like I love the Flames. I think that's a cool name.
Yeah.
The Diamondbacks. Timberwolves.
Great name, Diamondbacks.
Timberwolves, I was always a big fan of.
I used to how about the Memphis Grizzlies?
Oh, sure. I like that one. What's it?
What they do? Remember, were you too young to remember when they actually were big country up there playing in Vancouver?
Oh, no. Shreveport Brahim. No, I remember that. Of course. What's a Dodger? That's a good one.
You mean Doyer?
Yeah, what's a Doyer? What does that mean, Doyer? Why do people say that?
It's pronunciation out there for the people in Southern Cal.
So
Doyers.
It's a Mexican thing. You're making fun of
Exactly. That's not making fun of them. That's just the way they say it.
Doyers.
Yeah. It's endearing.
What's a Brown? That's a good one. I guess something like
just named after the owner. Which is ridiculous.
Dude, the Las Vegas Sinners. That's a terrible name.
Nah,
that sounds like a weak.
On the chat box, somebody put that up there. Come on now.
That sounds like a weak ass like Arena League football. Arena League football has some horrible names.
They're really bad, and uniforms as well.
Have you ever? Let's read some of them before we hear yours.
The Kiss.
Let me give some of them. Listen to these. The Washington Valor. The Los Angeles Kiss.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, who are they?
Even the Soul, the Philadelphia Soul. Like, what are we doing here?
The Portland Steel. That sounds like a porn name. The Steel. The Baltimore Brigade.
That sounds like those old arena soccer teams too.
Oh yeah, some of like those lame ass like
Kicks. Yeah, the K, and it's spelled Kixx. Just so cool.
So lame. Arizona Rattlers.
Yeah. The Orlando. What's Orlando's team? They were good for a long time too, like the Predators or something like
Predators,
that.
Yeah. Dude, I will say though, the ultimate worst name is the Kiss. That is just horrible.
Yeah, it's a bad one, especially since it's named after a band.
Let me hear some of yours.
Then the name here now I have more mainstream names, which I don't understand. Why these names were put in. Like it's starting out even with a Final Four team, the Gamecocks. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. Well,
like,
I mean,
really, we're the Cocks.
But it's like a rooster,
No, I know what it is, but it's just growing up, like we had the old. I'll predate a lot of you guys out there, but in the early '90s, the game hats were huge, and it would just say Hurricanes off the front. But South Carolina just had the Cocks underneath it.
Well, I think cock in a sexual translation is fairly new.
It's funny.
I wish I didn't know we were doing college because I would have came up with some really good ones.
Yeah, no, just like most of mine are college. Also Syracuse, the Orangemen. They were the Orangemen. How did we get so goddamn PC where we had to change it to the fucking orange? The Syracuse Orange. And it's not even like an orange, like the fruit. It's just the color.
Why did we have to change color? That?
Why? Because it was sexist. Orange men. No, well, women can't go by it, so we changed it to orange, PC.
Is that how they got it?
Wow. That's how they got the orange, because it's PC. It was sexist to be orange men. Same thing when we used to going back to high school. We always had a big thing on our gym floor. It had to say the Silver Knights on one side, and the other side had to say the Lady Silver Knights, because it's sexist. They can't just be called Silver Knights. Are you kidding me? Another one, same thing, like Dartmouth, the big green. Yeah. It's a freaking color. Like, what are we talking about? Another one, St. John's, the Redmen was a cool name. They were Indians. Now they said, oh, let's go PC. Red Storm. Yeah, Red Storm at St. John's.
I don't have a problem with the Indian thing.
Well, change the whole thing. Like, what's the Red Storm? Like, you're trying to play off your old mascot. Same thing with Syracuse. Get rid of it. Just name it something else. The Red Storm. Come on, man.
Yeah.
And another one, Georgetown, which nobody even knows what the hell it is. Oh, Hoya. Yeah, they have a dog. It's not even a dog. What the hell's a Hoya? You know what I mean?
No,
that's the problems I run into.
You want to know what a Hoya is?
I read it, and it still doesn't make sense to me.
It's some kind of evergreen shrub native to the Southeast Asia Pacific.
Yeah, fits right in, with Patrick Ewing back in the day. Damn, here goes that Hoya paranoia. You're like, what is it? It's a dog. No, it's not really a dog. That's just their mascot. Another one, the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Holy shit, we're in Florida. You say Devil, like, we're going to have a problem. We got to change it to the Rays. Come on. The Devil Rays an actual thing. Come on, people.
I guess there's a thing here about the Georgetown Hoyas. Rumor has it a student chanted Hoya Soxa, which translates to what rocks. The cheer grew and students began to consistently yell it. The name proved popular. They were called the Hoyas. The Hoya is not a bulldog. It's not even a mammal or animal or creature. It actually means what? Whatever that means.
Terrible. And how about, now the Stanford Cardinal, obviously we know it's a damn tree. Now, is the Stanford Cardinal because the bird? The cardinal?
Yeah.
Like, what is it? Like, why is it a tree?
And shouldn't there? Yeah. Well, no, you're right. And have you ever seen
Cardinals? Cardinal.
Have you ever seen that mascot they have? It's fucking
weird. Yeah. Come on. What is it?
Creepy. Like, by the way,
same thing with the Western Kentucky mascot. What the hell is that thing?
Oh yeah. Oh, dude. By the way, the last mascot thing I want to talk about is there any worse mascot job in the world than that dumb hawk at the St. Joe's games? It just goes like this.
Dude, Jeff, he gets a full scholarship though. So
really?
Yes, it's a full ride if you do the St. Joe's mascot. Full ride.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the caveat.
What's the reasoning on why they have to every 5 seconds flap?
They have to. You can't be in the St. Joe's hawk can't be in public without flapping its wings. It's illegal. And I guess that's why if you're just doing this for 4-hour stretches, boy, you better be getting paid for this.
Yeah, right. Update, another run down in Tampa Bay, 10-8. No surprise.
We're going to get a land. There you go. Hey, Jeff, man, good you laid off that game.
Yeah.
No more. I mean, 150 that one.
Brutal. But Yeah. What else do you have? Anything?
Hey, by the way, we're going to get to late night on campus. Baffle the big man just a second. But correct me if I'm wrong, big man. We got a nice special episode tomorrow, 12:30 Eastern Standard Time, to get you ready for Major League Baseball tomorrow on the right side of campus.
Do we really?
Yes. Ooh, how about that? Big man, not happy with that.
No, I don't really know what we're doing. I gotta see. No, what time
I have
is
it
it?
written. I got it written down. 10:55. It goes quite quick, man.
No,
you want to get to some back for the big man, or what time? What?
Yeah. No, I'm just looking at something. Yeah, let's get to it. What do we got?
All right, let's do it. All right. Now, I actually got ripped, Jeff, by one of the listeners on there who sent something in to me yesterday. Sent something in yesterday with questions, and I missed them. And he actually told me, like, maybe I didn't like him, so I didn't read him. I said, no, my man, look, we get tied up with a lot of stuff on the show. I'll make sure I get it tonight. It was all good, but I was actually getting ripped. Damn, you asking the right questions there.
These baffle the big man people. They get mad if you don't.
I guess like, dude, you're not. Yeah, you're not hitting me up, man. No shout outs. All right, first one. Let's go. Just right up your alley, big man. College players and what schools? Sent in by Barca fan Michael. Number one, name the college. I'm going to name the college player. You name the place where he went. Al Farouk Aminu.
Allahu Akbar. That would be Wake.
Yeah, there you go. Number two, Andy Routins.
Syracuse. There's your Syracuse Orange reference.
Yep. Luke
Whatever
Babbitt.
happened to him, by the way?
I don't know. Yeah, it's a good point on there. We got to do a where are they now?
Babbitt?
Luke Babbitt.
Nevada.
And the next one, Chase Budinger. Lonzo Ball was not like LeVar Ball was not like Chase.
Arizona. He had like red hair.
Correct. Yeah, he did. Big curly hair, good dude. Yep.
Question here. How many times did Jordan reach the Final Four after first year?
After his first year?
Yeah.
I don't think he didn't get back the next year, did he? After he hit the winning jumper as a freshman or a sophomore?
I think twice.
They must have lost then, because I mean the only title game he played in was what, the Georgetown game, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I actually don't know what it is. Give me the answer, Terrell. Come on, man. Pop that bad boy up there. I know we're on a little bit of a delay, though. 0. Yeah. How about that? Yep. Next one. Sopranos trivia. One of my favorite episodes. One of my favorite things in the show.
Okay, dude, we get it. We get it. 0. You said it. There you go. Good job.
Who died on the toilet in The Sopranos?
Gigi Sistone.
Yes, he did.
That's
one of my favorite ones, man.
That's one of the deaths that you like never saw coming.
Just kicked it open. He's dead from taking a shit.
And then someone goes, "Didn't Elvis die like that?"
I don't know if he did. He probably he was.
He did. He died on the toilet.
He did on the toilet. That's a terrible way to go.
Yeah.
My boss called the Odd Father. Who was that?
Oh, the greatest mobster ever, actually, in my opinion. Vincent the Chin Gigante. If you don't know anything about mob culture, he is one of the more interesting people you'll encounter. Really.
By the way, when you go out to Vegas next month, big man, go to that mob museum.
Mob museum.
Get a kick out of
do you know anything about the Chin? Do you know anything about him?
No, not really.
You know why he was?
I know his name.
Do you know why he was called the Odd Father?
No,
Basically, coming up, he became the boss. He had a huge, he was a boxer, and he started selling tickets to his fights, and he started to get noticed by this local guy. And basically, his shtick was to basically kind of fool law enforcement for years, 30 years. He basically walked around Greenwich Village in New York and acted like a retarded, basically. He would piss in public. He would wear a tattered bathrobe, and he would act like he was demented, basically. And little did he know. And what he would do was he kind of found out that most cops don't work overnight, so he would conduct all his business late at night, and he would kind of miss out sometimes because he would come out of his he would have like a bathrobe on, but underneath he would have a suit on, and he would, that's how he got caught. He would kind of just, they kind of realized after a while, this guy's not.
The chin.
He's living a regular life. He's really interesting.
Junior sends in, who was the first boss to flip on the mob and his underlings?
Who was Big Joe Messina, right?
Yeah, but now give me some background on that. I don't know about
Big
that one.
Joey Messina. He was f- actually up until the flipping, he was one of the more respectable mob guys. He was one of the late mobsters, one of the last big godfathers, really. He was in the late 90s, early 2000s. He actually his brother-in-law ratted him out actually, and he basically decided as the boss. He was looking at life in prison, and he flipped. Not a lot of background, but he basically got really close with his brother-in-law. His brother-in-law ratted him out, and it was a huge. He basically looked at it as a huge slap in the face. Really, I mean, at the end of the day, his own family was ratting him out, and he figured at that point the mob was really on its last leg, and he thought, I'm not going to do 60 years for these people.
Interesting. So, next one, same thing with Junior. Junior has a Broncos decal on Twitter, but he's giving us some trivia knowledge for the Philadelphia Eagles. Going back to 2011 in the first round, big man. Who did the Eagles select?
He's that dude. I think he say he did time around here or something?
Did he say he did time? I thought that was the Joe Watson guy. Where's Joe Watson? Is Joe Watson doing time again? I don't see him popping up here lately, Joe.
Yeah, I don't know. He got a new dog.
Got back.
What was the question on the Eagles?
What in 2011? Who was the Eagles' first round draft pick?
The worst pick in draft history, really.
And what? And I don't think he liked football. He actually wanted to be something else, big man, for bonus points.
Danny Watson.
Yeah, he wanted Danny Watkins. And what did he want to be?
Firefighter.
A freaking fireman. My God.
That was Andy Reid's boy.
But yeah, hold on. We got one more. I know we have at least one more here sent in by CC. CC never fails, always gets us here. Let me get this here. Let's take a look.
CC, he always puts questions.
He always does. Yep. That's why I got to make.
You guys know Sammy the Bull got busted. Yeah, he went out to Arizona and he. Did you ever hear about that, Don? He literally got the deal of a lifetime. He murdered 19 people, ratted out John Gotti, and they gave him. I think he did 6 years. He went out to Arizona and started with like handyman companies, construction companies. He started selling ecstasy, and ended up getting pinched.
Wasn't his is his daughter or somebody Karen. Related was on the Mob Wives show?
Yeah, Karen. Yeah.
All right. Name the world's first university.
Whoa. Dexter. I like how you guys talk crap on the firefighters like they're nothing. When did we? I don't. First of all, Dexter, don't come in the show and listen for 1 minute and then take something we said. What did we say wrong about firefighters?
He wanted to be a firefighter more than a football player.
What's wrong with that?
Is it a joke?
I mean, it's pretty dumb, honestly. I mean,
dude wants to be a firefighter. Yeah, I think he's a firefighter right now.
I mean, it's passion, sure, but why even do it then? Why go to the why even waste people's time?
Should have just gave the money back.
Right. Yeah. Right, did you see Danny giving the money back for that season he didn't play well in?
No, he didn't want to be. He didn't want to play. They got him out. Name the world's first university and where was it located, big man?
The what?
Where was the world's first university and where is it located?
The world's first.
I gotta get the answer to this one. All right, I got it.
It's in the Middle East somewhere. Let me think about this for a second.
Yeah, it's got to be an old one, you would figure.
I think it's because this is a tough one because when you get back this deep in history, there's questionable questions on what was first. I know there's one in Italy that was fairly. It's in Morocco, I'm pretty sure. I don't know.
Timbuktu.
Yeah.
Sankore University.
Yeah, I don't think that's right. There was a mosque, I believe, in Morocco. It was once a mosque. It was turned into a university, and it was back in like 823 AD, I think.
Yeah, so next question he gives a good one. You're going to like this one.
You might want to look that up.
Talked about this growing up, especially in my day. Hashtag LNOC. In the movie A Bronx Tale, Sonny advises C to use the door test on his date. What is the door test?
Well, A Bronx Tale is the greatest movie ever made, and it's my favorite. Basically, the door test is and you can't do it now just because of the way technology is, but back in the day, you would go up to your girl. Before you went up to pick her up, you would lock the door that she would get in. You would pick her up. You'd walk her over to the door. You would let her in her side of the car. If she doesn't reach over and lift that button up for you.
By the time you get over there, yes.
Then she's a pig and she can't be trusted. No, and
Yes.
she's selfish, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to tell you something, and this is God's honest truth. I dated a girl. Her name was Tiff. I dated her for 3 years. She was my longest relationship. I love her to this day, right?
Yep.
She was the only, and I tried the door test on several girls. She was the only girl to ever lift the door handle.
That's good.
Only one. And she was the best.
Now, what about the other test from A Bronx Tale? What was the other one that sitting outside of the Fordham Aces Club?
The Mario test.
Stupid idiot, man. Truck drivers and driving down the road and all that stuff. And I was like,
yeah, it's if she doesn't if she goes down to your old Brazil knowing that girl's in the club, get guys in the truck next door, then she's a pig and she can't be trusted. Where are we at here? Oh, back to our boy, the firefighter. I like how you guys just talk crap about firefighters like they're nothing. And then he goes, yeah, but the way you came about it, like it's a disappointment. Dude, get over yourself. Seriously.
Can't leave.
Take that high moral crap and go somewhere else. We all know firefighters work very hard.
Come on, man. Who would ever put down a firefighter? Stop. I just put down somebody who steals.
When did we put him down?
I don't know.
If all I'm saying is if he was so into his profession, why did he even waste anyone's time?
Yeah. Yep.
What Muslim sect is Assad a part of? Alawites.
His pop was the ruler of Syria, right?
Yeah, and you know, it's funny. I tweeted out last night. His grandfather changed their name early in his life from the Muslim word or Arabic word for a savage, which kind of ironic, right?
Why didn't they just keep the name? Fit it right in. Somebody gave him a good name.
Perfect, right? Yeah.
Jesus.
All right, what are we seeing here? It looks like there was a really bad beat. Oh, in that Knicks game. Did you see that?
No. Go ahead.
Wow. It was 98-88 with 8 seconds left. Memphis is up 10. Some kid from the half court shot as the clock is off, he pulls up and shoots a 3. I just retweeted it. Wow, that is really sick.
Was it a bad beat on the toe? Oh, I see. Okay, 12.5. Yeah. Yep.
You got to see this. I just retweeted it. Go look at that. That is really sick. You got to be kidding.
Live.
That is really, really sick. You got to see that. I got to hear his response. Are you seeing it?
No, not yet. Hold on, let me slide it down.
So brutal.
There we go. Oh, so he actually is one of the dudes that actually took the shot from right there.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Are you kidding? Like,
no, he didn't.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Who is that
First
little
of all,
word?
why wouldn't that be a fight out there on the court? That's like grounds for a damn fight. Wow.
Wow. Who was that did that?
Oh, yeah. Big man, you should have just added Scott Van Pelt right there, man.
Somebody already. Oh no, somebody already did this.
That's one of the worst ones I've ever seen because that should never have even happened.
No, shouldn't have. God, that's so foul, isn't it? Ugh.
Big man, what country is Syria dependent on for water? Somebody from the north?
Russia?
Iraq? Iran? No, Turkey, Russia. I guess.
Wade Baldwin was the little prick that did that.
Oh, there you go. Where was Wade Baldwin from? What school?
Wake
Yeah,
Forest.
was he Wake Forest? He wasn't a Vandy?
Oh, no, he was Vandy. You're right. He's a rookie. Good call. Yeah, I would guess Russia for that. But might be wrong.
I got to get that tweet back out there. Wow.
Yeah, that's too brutal. Yep. But other than that, guys, I think we are good to go for tonight. Always fun. This is really just a pure mishigas of whatever we want to talk about.
We're doing it tomorrow night, too. Saturday night. Bring the solo.
How many fucking shows are we doing tomorrow? Christ.
We've got like 50 million. Come on, man. I'm not get the memo. I got all the memos on this.
Yeah, I'm not doing 2 shows. No way. No way. Honestly, I'm not. No way.
Well, we got scheduled for 2, so we'll see what happens for tomorrow.
What are we doing? Like, exactly?
It's supposed to be. Remember we did the longest time Saturday morning was
Saturday sit down.
Yeah, Saturday sit down, which got changed to 12:30 now, and then they still want to do the I just got management rules. That's it.
Because I got that, and I don't see Saturday at 10 Eastern.
Now we'll go one way. No, we're going to be on somewhere tomorrow, so
we'll figure it out.
Big man, leave with something before we get out of here. Go ahead.
Well, I don't really have too much. I don't know. I have nothing, honestly.
Hey, it's all good. Well, sponsored tonight by at SBR SBRodds.com, powered by UWager.
Oh yeah, root me in. I need this Minnesota team to keep hanging. Looks like the over is come in already easily. How about that call? All right, boys, finish it out, Timberwolves. Finish it out. It's a 3-point game. 4 minutes left. Let's finish it out.
You got it, Mike. We'll check you guys tomorrow. He's Jeff Nadeau, the big man on campus. I'm Donnie RightSide, and we'll be back tomorrow. Have a good night, fellas.